Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we're going to start the beginning of our new cotton cuts. Let me show you what came with all the material. So we got pins, and when you open your pin, it'll have a little red tip like that, and you pull that off, and then when you do, your pin will look like that. Just a regular pin. Okay? Then we got Sew for the Gold, and they want you to take this fabric here and make the Olympic puzzle mystery, and it's the 4 colors that represent the Olympics. And then they want you to, oh, excuse me, 5. I forgot the green color. This is what you get, little pieces of fabric here, and they want you to go ahead and make what you want as the Olympic, they want you to make a symbol, an ionic symbol, out of these little pieces of fabric. You can applique it, you can piece it, you do whatever you want, and then you're going to upload it on the Cotton Cuts, which is the mystery Facebook, and they'll do a drawing. And then they have something new. It's called Boost Your Delivery. They have an exclusive shop for their Cotton Cuts members with notions and gifts ranging all the way from straight pens to playing cards. Now the items are going to constantly change throughout the year, but whenever you order something, they'll just add it postage free with your shipment of your cotton cuts. Now you know that I'm doing 2 because I'm doing one for my daughter-in-law. The one I chose for myself is, I believe it's pronounced Nadia. This is what it looked like. And then the little color sheet looks like this, so you hold on to it. And then for the individual that guessed right for what my daughter-in-law picked out, she did pick out Kathy. And there's her colors, because she likes that green and all those dark colors like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew one with you and sew one already, and I'll show it to you here in a minute. Now, if you're following along, you got our email. I believe it came from Dave, and it said that there was a mistake in the directions, and it was in the second step here. Now, I've already printed this out, so these are the correct directions in the second step, because it actually had you attaching an A, which is a C here, to this side, and it's a C, not an A. So that whole paragraph is wrong in the regular directions. So just print it out. I don't have back capability on my printer. I don't have it set up, so I've got 2 pages instead of 1 because it's the front and the back now. And let's get started making one of these, and then I'll show you what they both look like when I'm finished. Here's what the Kathy fabrics look like, and I believe it's A, C. This strip right here is D, and this fabric here is E. It's all the same, and like I said, that's the Kathy, and then this is the Nadia right here. And it's the same thing, same sizes and everything, because I got 2 small. So that's got little kitten, no, they're mice, I think. Yeah, little mice face on them. And then little packages and flowers. So it's just, so let me go ahead and we'll get started putting this together. So here's our fabric laid out like this. And the very first thing they want us to do is to take these right here, and we are going to build flying geese. So you're going to take your fabric, and you're going to put 1 on each end, and we're going to do this entire stack, and which is going to prepare us for 1A, 1B, and 1C. All 3 of them are going to be using these flying geese. So that's the first thing we're going to do before we do anything else. We'll go ahead and we'll chain stitch them all. So I'm going to get them all ready right here. I don't need to pin any of them. You guys want to really watch, because the bias is on this strip right here on each side as you sew it. You want to make sure you do not stretch this fabric because it has stretch in it. We're going to do the, I'm going to do the right side first because I'm right-handed. If you're more comfortable doing the left-hand side first, that's fine. But after we do them all on one side, we have to iron them open before we attach the other side so that they will lay correctly. Let's go ahead and get started. Now when I made the last one, because I went ahead and I made my daughter-in-law's first. That's one way to get all the kinks out and figure out how to do it. But on her, she is, her fabrics are petite. So you know there's no wrong and right side to that. So the advantage was I didn't have to flip them all over and make sure I was on the right side of the fabric. Now on mine, there is a right side and a wrong side. So if there is on yours, please pay attention so you don't do the wrong side. And hopefully my hands aren't in the way of this. So I wonder if anybody is still reading The Elevator Girl. That is really coming along. I hate those days that when you open that up and the paragraph is like about 6 or 7 sentences and that's it. But I really like the ones when you open it up and you got to scroll quite a bit to read the story. And then I do go and catch the Facebook comments, and the lady that's like, I want to say she's reiterating what's being said for that day. That's pretty good because then people will make comments about that, which I find interesting. The most recent thing, which I kind of thought about in the book when they were talking about the freight elevator. Now, I've seen a freight elevator where it actually opens from both sides, but that was not mentioned in this story. I mean, we rode up a freight elevator one time. Usually they use those when you're moving into apartment complexes and stuff because it's a bigger elevator and you can get in from either side depending on your, you know, the way the building is. I would kind of seem that it was kind of weird that the boy made the comment, Alex I think is his name, that he rides up the freight elevator, but yet all those boxes and crates and whatnot were in front of the elevator, which kind of made me think there were two elevators, or two freight elevators, maybe in two different locations in that hotel, motel, or I think that's what that's called. And what did you think about, I'm going to tell you what I really, really liked. I liked when she got all dressed up and ended up going down there to the basement where the bar is and the grill, and she had gone back in time. I thought that was fantastic. But I like reading all that kind of sci-fi stuff anyway. So it's like she walked into a portal or something and changed times. I guess that bartender, the one in the past, he's going to have some kind of link to her. You know, I don't know who he is to her, but I think there's going to be some kind of relationship. I don't know, a family or, you know, or what. I thought it was odd that that elderly man tried to approach her and she thought that she knew him but couldn't place him. Now that's not in the past, that's in the present, which made me think that maybe he was from the past. And that's why she kind of recognized him. I mean, he would have aged by now. I still can't quite figure out the relationship between the man that owns that hotel and the girl that was killed. You know, I don't, he's so secretive about everything. So I'm not sure if he was romantically involved with her or, you know, something like that. I don't know. What's everybody's colors for this, this block this time? Are you doing small or are you doing large? I'm doing the two small ones, one for my daughter-in-law and one for myself. I went with this really light color. It makes me think actually of spring, although we're going to be doing this in the fall. I just found out Megan was reading the time change already, when the sun is going to set. And today is Thursday. This video is going to come out Saturday, and yesterday she read it, and then she turned around and read what tonight's going to be, and it's 1 minute different already, decreasing in time, so it's already starting to get darker earlier. I mean, I know a minute doesn't seem like a lot, y'all, but you know, it's still, it just feels weird in August that that's happening. Of course, you know, we've been having a lot of beautiful, nice weather. Let me cut this off and I'm going to iron all this open so I can come back. Alrighty, here's what you should have, and then we're going to put the other side on now. When we're all done, we'll have 8 of these. I don't know why I said 9, 8 of them. Now I like to start at the bottom and work my way up to the tip top of the nose. So what I do when that happens is I just go up a little bit on my fabric and start, and then I'll come back down and catch it when I'm finished after I get done. And then my main objective is do my 1/4 inch, but as I come to this tip, and let me show you here, when I come down here, I'm going to try to go off right on the tip of that, so I have my 1/4 inch area for marking. So I'll just hold on to it, slowly watch it as I come up. Like I said, I hope my hand isn't in the way. and then come right off that tip as close as I can get to that tip on every single one of these. And the same thing, I'm trying to start right on the right hand side of that tip down at the bottom, because that's my 1/4 inch. Now remember, no matter what you do, whether you do the scant 1/4 inch or the 1/4 inch, just keep doing it the entire time and the thing will go together correctly. Okay, it's when you change it that it ends up being bigger and smaller and all that, and you get frustrated with it. So just try to keep it the same. Anyway, what I was saying about the weather is, oh my gosh, I have really been enjoying it. Now today it was in the 80s. But the past few days it has been nice and cool. I've had the windows open, the door, the fan in the window, and I like sleeping with the fan on in the window too. It feels so good. I don't have allergies or anything, so I don't have any issues with that. I mean, they say you'll get them eventually, but I haven't gotten them yet, so keep my fingers crossed here. I hope I don't have any. Alrighty, now I'm going to get these last 3 up here on this table. This pink on this fabric here makes me think of the cherry blossoms, and I don't even know why. I mean, it doesn't have cherries on or anything, but I guess it's just the way the flower is. The white with a little bit of pink on it. Maybe that's what it is. I've never been to see the cherry blossoms, but that's what this fabric makes me think of. I really like it. It's a really pretty shade. I don't think it's necessarily a pink. I think it's more of a, it's got like a little bit of salmon pink in there. Alrighty, so this is what you'll have done, and they want you to take that square over there, which is C, and they want you to put 4 of them on the left hand side, and then we're going to set aside those 4 because that's going to be our section 1A. So let's do that first so that we don't get confused with what we're doing. So for mine, I'm starting where my seam is up here at the top, which is the thickest part, and I'm coming down. Alright, let's get them all ironed open. Alrighty, here's 4 of them. It wants you to set aside 2 of them, and you're going to mark 2 section 1A, and then we're going to set the other 2 aside for section 1C. So let's do that. Mark it and set 2 aside. Now we're going to take these 4 and we're going to put the C on the right hand side. Okay, so now we have 4 of these. We're going to take 2 of them and they're going to become section 1B. So I write section 1B and I put a 2 in a circle, meaning I have 2 pieces that go to that section. We're going to set that aside. We're going to get our 2 that we set aside for the 2C, these here, and they're going to go with this, and now we're going to combine these together. You probably already guessed it. We have 4 of these. So we're going to put 2 on the left, like this, and 2 on the right, like this. Make sure the geese are still going up, all right? We want 2 on the left and 2 on the right. Okay, here's what we're doing. We're going to take this strip and we're going to put it in there. So let me take this off and this one off, just so they're out of the way so we can focus. All right, so it goes like this. So what I accidentally did, this is why I said I'm glad I got 2 of them, because I made my mistakes already. So I sewed it like this, which meant that when I sewed it, I would have put the mark on the tip there, you know, because we don't want to lose our tips. Now, because we have to do it this way, we have 2 tips to watch, right here and right here, that we have to mark. And it's on both sides. So get your pen, pencil, whatever you got, and your ruler, and let me bring you closer so that you can take a good look. All right, so this is what we're going to do. The 2 threads sewn across here, and if you need to mark them with your pencil, pen, you can do just that if you can't see them. And then take your ruler, might help if I right side up, put your pen right on the tip where those 2 cross, and then mark it, because you want to make sure you either go across this line or towards the right of your fabric so that you do not lose your stitching and you don't take the tip off. So let's do the other side. We're going to find the thread. I'm going to show you where the thread is at so you can see it too. I mean, I don't know how much you can see in the camera. but if I mark it for you, y'all are going to see it. There you go. And then you put your pin right on top, and then just mark it like that. And just make sure you come over that. And then we'll do both sides, because this one's also going to have to be done. Alrighty, I'm back, and let's hope I do this right. Alrighty, let's see. I need my pins. Got it all marked. I went ahead and I marked all 4 of them so that I could just grab them and pin them. You want to pin on one side and then the other. And then you want to go to the middle, and from the middle you want to go off to the left and off to the right. And then be real careful when you come up to the part that you're going to go over. Oop, I hit my pin. Well, it didn't do anything, I don't think. No? Okay, I was lucky there. I gotta watch that. Ooh, I don't want any broken pins. It is my law in my house not to hit a pin with my sewing machine needle. Okay, here we go. Whoop. I tell you, I am so out of the loop. I could not believe that Becca was moving. But I've had so much stuff happen to me in the past 2 weeks that I haven't been on YouTube that much, and right now I cannot talk about it. So when it all settles down and I feel okay and I feel a lot better, then I'll talk about it. I know I don't share too much stuff with you guys, but this is one of those things I think I need to share. I thought I was going to have to quit here with YouTube for a while, but towards the strip, then I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to come back and we'll chain stitch it, the next 2. Okay, so this is the way it's supposed to look. The geese tips of their noses are going away from that strip. Okay, I got it marked already, but I want to show you something. Now what your concern is, you don't want to get this sewn and then come and find out it's like that, which is going to be way off, and you're going to be able to see that. Shh. So what I did was I took my strip, laid it on here, and what I'm doing is I'm lining this up. Here's my stitch right here, and it's going all along there. Quiet! Stop! Hush, hush. And then I'm going to pin it. Who got them started? And then I'll put one on the end here. I'll go to the other end. And like I said, we're looking where this seam goes. We're trying to match it up. Go right in the ditch of that one. Now, righty? Just like that, and pin it. And that'll be as straight as you can possibly get it without actually marking it. And then I'm going to go to the end here, and I'm going to push this. Well, I'm going to grab it's what I'm going to do. And then I'll do a, since this is the top part that I'm pinning, the bottom has more fabric, so if you pull it taut, it'll work. But let me move this one up just a little bit, because it looks like the corner is off. There we go, like that. Okay. And then we'll put one right here in the middle. Just like that. Okay? And then we're going to pin the other one just like that. So try to keep your seam going right up here. That's what you're trying to angle for. Get the seam up there. It doesn't make any difference what it's like, but you want it to go right up there, right in that ditch. And that's what you're trying to do to get it to match up so that it's pretty straight on you, okay? All right, let me pin the other one. Go ahead and we're going to chain stitch this. Now, I don't think I mentioned the thread that I'm using. So for this project here, and I'm doing it on both of my blocks, or not my blocks, both of my quilts that I'm making, I'm actually using a off-white, I think it's called, I don't think it was called cream. I can't remember, was that or that other word starts with an E? I don't remember which it is. But anyway, it's polyester. And the reason I chose this instead of cotton is, you know, polyester is a little bit tougher when you sew it. Now, I am still doing the 2.5, so that hasn't changed any at all. It did just what I didn't want it to do over there. It folded over. That's all right. Anyway, because when I give my quilt that I finish up to my daughter-in-law, her name is Adriana, when I give it to her, she and her daughter might both be underneath it, and if that's the case and they start pulling on it or whatever, now I think her daughter's taller than she is short like me, so the quilt will fit her, but if they start pulling on it and everything, I don't want the stitches to come undone. She doesn't quilt and she doesn't sew, so she wouldn't be able to be repairing it or anything. And they're up in the panhandle, so there's no way I'm going to get that quilt back and anything else. But she's cold nature like I am, so she definitely needs a quilt of some sort or a blanket. And that's why I wanted to make her one, but I wanted her to be able to choose the one that she wanted. Thing is jumping up on me again. There we go. So there's nothing like making a blanket and somebody didn't like the colors. And I knew she was particular about her colors because we'd already had that conversation when she first came over to meet me and everything. And it'll be the first thing that I've made her. I haven't made anything else for her. I probably ought to give her some bow cozies because she always makes soup. I never even thought about that till I just now talking to y'all. That'd be fantastic to make for her. I think she would use that. All right, let me go ahead and iron these open so you guys can take a look at them because we're just going to wrap this up. Okay, here you go. There's two of them. Aren't those pretty? And then we're going to mark those section 2C. And like I said, I put a little circle with a number in it, and that represents how many there are. So there's two of them. So I'm going to lay them out here so everybody can look at them. And I'm also going to lay the other ones. And boy, you talk about the contrast between these two. Hold on a second, you'll look at it. Okay, there is A, B, and C all done. Now that's my colors. That's Nadia. And let me put the Cathy down there. And there's the Cathy. The A, the B, and the C. And let me put them side by side. There we go. Aren't those something? Her colors this time are orange and green. And mine are a white with a pink. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can make a comment. Go ahead and subscribe. Click on the bell. You'll get more notices. And I'll see you next time. Now, the Cotton Cuts has a Zoom class going on tonight to show how to put this together. Today's Thursday, and it's tonight, Thursday, the, oh, what is the date? The 3rd? No, not Thursday, the 3rd. The 5th. Thursday, August 5th. My days are getting away from me. That's another thing that's happening. I can't talk about it right now, but I will be able to talk about it soon, and I'll fill all y'all in what's going on. And oh my gosh, you know, I was going to have that, oh, what do you call it? You know, the bag that gets bigger, the expandable bag? I thought I was going to have that done for you, but that's going to have to be set on the back burner now. There's quite a bit that's got to be set back on the burner. But like I said, I'll explain it. I just can't do it right now. All right, so on a lighter note, I'll see you next time. And on Wednesday, if my Creative Notions comes before Wednesday, Sherry and I are going to do an unboxing on Wednesday with it. Otherwise, it's going to end up being next Saturday. And I'll do another square in the diary of my story that we're working on. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. And welcome to all the new subscribers. Take care. Bye-bye.